We're group 5. We're doing Airborne Express for our presentation. So the express mail industry structure evolved over this time period. It mostly started with the 1997 UPS strike, which involved a $700 million loss for UPS and put a lot of pressure on their competitors as well to pick up the slack. During this time, overnight shipping requirements for businesses showed a $16 to $17 billion market opportunity. There were also changes with the technology of the internet to allow customers to track and see their shipments in real time. Customers were able to have real-time pricing options. However, there still is a struggle during this time for international strategies because of the expense, especially for carriers who were domestic focused. For the small-time competitors, many of them had to raise their prices, like FedEx, as an example, and also many small competitors may not have been able to keep up with the technology changes. As we know, Airborne Express had a tendency to wait and see how those technological advancements actually benefited during that time.
Airborne Express has survived to this point against their larger competitors by being smart in several different areas, primarily in saving costs. So the entire corporate culture is straight-laced and frugal and very conservative as far as spending money. They'll often let their competitors spend money on IT investments that may or may not work out, and whatever does work, they'll adapt that and take the reward without the cost of it. They also are very choosy about their customers. They'll choose large corporate businesses so they can have regular scheduled and high volume deliveries that are cost much less than residential deliveries. Also, they acquired a main operation hub in Wilmington, Ohio, enabling them to save costs so they would be able to control the airport on their own. They also save money on their fleet of planes. They buy used planes and refurbish them, which costs significantly less than buying a new plane.
So Airborne Express has a couple of competitive advantages when or compared to the other companies in the industry. The first one being that because they, like Jeff said, that they buy used airplanes and refurbish them, they're able to cut their capital costs by about 83%. Now, when you look at their sales force, they have a sales force of about 500 people, which is much less than their competitors, and that allows them to reduce those costs by 120%. Also, because they have their own airport, then they're able to have an increased utilization of about 15%, and their portfolio costs, when compared to their competitors, is about 19% lower.
When you evaluate the strategy overall, as a low-cost competitor, they delivered acceptable service at 96% when industry standard was 99% between FedEx and UPS. They were very unique in the sense that their proximity to their customer was relatively close in comparison, which allowed them to maintain operational efficiencies, utilize their capacity, and also made them very difficult to imitate. Their relationship with the customers across their full range of activities was something that was valued. Created value for the customer as well. As an organization, as Jeff and Aaron mentioned, their frugal culture as cost leadership strategy focused on large business operations without impacting residential services as a trade-off. FedEx and UPS didn't see Airborne Express as a major competitor domestically.
Here we have a breakdown of the business activities in a diagram, and Airborne Express is looking to strengthen their position in the shipping industry. So in order to accomplish this, Mr. Brazier really needs to look at strategic opportunities and partnerships, We talk about solidifying a partnership with RPS to maintain domestic ground service. This is important in them moving forward, and also to partner with DHL to create more value for their business-to-business operations. After these strategic partnerships, they really need to look into technology and some EDI enhancements with their large business-to-business customers. And finally, to maintain lower union labor costs to lower comparative costs to FedEx. We know this is a part of their core business model and their frugal culture and what they're all about. 5.5.